kind of been the biggest difference between being a student and now being a teacher?
I have more homework as a teacher.
I don't assign myself homework.
No, I have more homework. Like, it's one thing to write an essay, it's another thing to grade 60 of them. So, but that's a big difference. The obvious stuff, it's just a totally different experience being a teacher and a student.
Cool. So, Sarah, what brought you back?
I did not want to come back to Tampa. When I graduated from high school, and actually if you had asked me probably in 7th and 8th grade, where do you want to go to college, I would say, I don't know, but I know not in Florida. For whatever reason, I just wanted to try something different. I was born and raised here in Tampa and just wanted to go somewhere different, kind of far, not because of anything bad here. I love my family and I obviously loved this school. But I just wanted to do something different. So I went to Dallas for 4 years, and I loved it, and somewhere in that time in college decided that teaching high school was what I think I really wanted to do. I like high school students, I like this age, and I just thought that that's a job that to me sounds like something that would be challenging, but that I would really enjoy. It's not a job just because I get paid money for it. Like, I would do this, well, don't tell anyone this, but I would do this for free. I love it. That's right. But anyways, so graduated with a math degree out in Texas, and then spent the last 2 years teaching in Charlotte, North Carolina. And the program that I kind of became a teacher through is kind of a special deal called Teach for America, and I'll tell you more about it later if you want to hear. But the gist of it is that they take college graduates and they place you in urban areas and kind of lower socioeconomic level schools. So challenging schools in urban school districts. And they place teachers in 28 cities around the country. So I got to kind of rank where I wanted to go, and I didn't put anywhere in Florida, because I still was like, I just want to live far away and kind of do my own thing. So I lived in Charlotte for 2 years, and it was an incredible experience. I learned so much. I learned how hard I could work. I learned that I definitely wanted to be a teacher, but I also learned that teaching at a public school was not what I wanted to do forever. I kind of like what Megan was saying earlier about being at a different private school that wasn't Christian. There was something missing. There was something that I couldn't talk about with my students, and I couldn't develop that spiritual part of a relationship with students because I wasn't allowed to. And I realized after being in a public school for 2 years that I wanted to be that different kind of teacher that Tony was talking about. I wanted to be able to work in a school where I could talk about my relationship with God and what that means in my life and all of that. So at the end of my 2 years in Charlotte, coming back to teach at Cambridge was my first choice. That was the dream job, so to speak. That's what I wanted to do. And it was totally God's hand through that whole 4 months of kind of applying and interviewing and getting the job here. It wouldn't have happened if it wasn't what he wanted. Just, I could tell from the way that it worked out. So it's kind of
Well, if you
story.
want, real cool. I mean, what do you want the students, if they were to grasp one thing about Cambridge before they leave, before the seniors, before they leave, they go off to college, incoming freshmen, what do you want them to understand about your experience about Cambridge? What do you want them to grasp? And why don't you start with Jordan and just...
Yeah, I'll make this quick. I know we got to wrap up. I think for me, the one thing I would want, I guess it's two things. One is God's grace, and truly grasping grace. And two would be a passion for this place. This is different. You might not understand it until you leave, but this is an incredibly unique place, and having a passion for that. That's what, we were so passionate about the school, even when we were here, and to be able to translate that to you guys, that's what I would love to see happen once my time working here is done.
I think for me, especially working with little kids, it's kind of scary what the media portrays in our world and our culture, and it tells you that you have to look a certain way, or that you need lots of money, you really need to be successful and have some big job, or you need to possess something to be happy, or to have made it, and it's scary because we see that on magazine covers what the world tells us, and all of those things, and by all means we have that in our life already, but some of those things are natural, but none of that will satisfy us, and it's only Jesus Christ that will. And so we can spend an eternity searching for those things or wanting those things, but it's not the ultimate satisfaction.
Yeah, very similar to what Megan was saying. I think graduating from high school, if you could understand that your relationship with God and living how He tells us to in Scripture is your priority, then I think that everything else in college and afterwards will fall into place. I mean, Scripture tells us that if we seek His kingdom first, then everything else will happen the way that it should. So I think that if you can take anything from Cambridge, it would be to have that firm foundation of faith and that your priorities are in line with what God's priorities are for you when you go into college, that's probably the most important thing to take from here.
Yeah, I agree with all that, but a little different, I guess, would just be that you get to experience God's love for you. You get to see that in your classmates, and your teammates, and your teachers, and to really grasp that. I think once you know the love of the Lord, when He reveals Himself, and just to know that it's greater than anything else, and nothing else is important. And so my wish for you is just, and prayer for you is that you would grasp that and get to go into college with that foundation of the love of the Lord, that you're firm in that, and then nothing else. Things can go up and down, and they will go up and down. There'll be good times and bad times, but God's love is with you always, and He is your comforter. And just to know that His love may compel you to come back here and be a teacher too. Be okay with that, because I don't think that you guys thought that would happen, but we're excited that it did, and His love may compel you to go be a lawyer, or to play professional sport, or to be a mom, or to own your own business, but just to know that the love of the Lord is what leads you in your life, and the decisions you make is the most important thing.
What I would add to all that is to just be aware and take advantage of all the blessings that God has given you here. Certainly, no place is going to be perfect. I know everybody's got things that they don't like. You don't like the uniforms, or you don't like whatever the case may be, but there are so many blessings here that I don't want you guys to miss. I don't want you to focus on things you don't like. Concentrate on the things that you have going for you here. You have a lot of people here, teachers, administration, your friends, who care about you, not just as your friends or as your teachers, but care about you on a spiritual level, that want to see you succeed in life and in your faith. And that's something you don't find very many places.